A lot of people aren't going to know much about.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
Hi.
A lot of people aren't going to know much about Legends yet because it hasn't premiered and it's a little bit generic. But talk a little bit about like the concept of the show and what is different about this than the other, shows.
Concept of this show is we have heroes and villains coming together to try to save the future, the world at large, brought together by Rip Hunter, a time-traveling time master, who's got a rogues gallery, as we call it, I guess, of people trying to work together to overcome their differences and ultimately do good. we may mess up along the way every once in a while, and then we have to go back and figure out how to right our wrongs as we trudge through time.
So far, Arrow and the Flash have kind of built themselves these superhero mythologies, but kind of grounded them around like serious family drama, things like that. This is a more unique kind of setup. How does that? I mean, it's still the CW. So how does that formula kind of fit the format of your show with these different people kind of coming in there?
I think the basis of what makes Flash and Arrow work is the relationships. Is that team? Who's Team Arrow? Who's Team Flash? And what are the relationships and making the story work through interacting with the characters and creating strong emotional bonds that the audience can relate to, so that when you're in peril, it feels real. You're connected because you really care about these people, and that's that holds true to what we're doing here. We have 8 people that we're doing this with, and they're all very different. So that's very unique for us. Plus, I think the stakes are even higher. The scope is even bigger. The villains we're facing even badder as time traveling Vandal Savage.
Is it fair to say that, just as a follow-up, is that it's kind of like an Avengers setup, a team or a time bomb kind of thing with the conflicts between people?
We're definitely a team. We're a team. I mean, at this point, it's loosely titled as we're fighting amongst each other, kind of not trusting everyone. Both villains not trusting the heroes and heroes not trusting the villains in a way. So it's there's a lot of push and pull, which makes for exciting fireworks within the group as we're still trying to put out fires around time.
What do you already played Superman on the movies, and what from your experience as playing a superhero in the movies helps you with this part in the show?
It's helped in amazing ways. I don't even know if it's so much as on screen as just Brandon working through and dealing with the trials and tribulations of filming something like this. The stresses, the time constraints, the physical constraints of being in a suit and all these things. Superman really helped me prepare me for this. And while it was an amazing experience for me, that was a lot at a very early age. So I wasn't always able to sit and relax. Wow, this is amazing. I was just like, one day I feel this, got to get through this day, and so much that I have to handle. And this, I can sit back and go, well, this is pretty amazing. This is pretty awesome. And I know I don't have to worry about this. I know I can advocate for myself and say, you know what? I need a little bit more time. I need to do this, whatever. You just learn those skills as an actor that don't have to do with the acting, but pay dividends for the acting. So I can be more relaxed on set. Just go, okay, now it's time to really do my job.
And were you expecting to play another superhero on TV?
No, I mean superhero period, especially not in the DC universe. I mean, I thought maybe I'd play a villain, sometime, but to have played the pinnacle of all superheroes in my mind, I didn't really think that. Never conceived of another opportunity. So when Mark and Andrew and Greg Berlanti wanted to meet with me, and I thought, well, this is unique. I should at least hear them out.
I'm very curious about the arc of the season. Are you guys dealing with one, like Arrow and the Flash have had arcs? The whole season is one villain, and how is it for you guys?
Yeah, it's a serialized show, so we're after Vandal Savage. He's the big bad, essentially, for the season. So it's all relating to capturing him or killing him each episode. He may be in focus more in some episodes and less in focus in some, but that's always the main goal that we're achieving. The other would be just working together as a team and establishing relationships who's the leader on this mission, who's the leader on that mission, which is a kind of a cool thing, kind of trading off as we go along. Nobody's in power the whole time. Even Rip, who's the one who kind of is the one supposedly bringing us together, isn't always the leader.
I have another just quick follow-up. The Arrow is a very dark show compared to Flash. What would you say the tone is on your show? Is it a mixture of both, or could it be one episode is darker and one episode is more fun?
We've done working on the third episode, so it's hard to give to know for sure. But I'd say it's definitely more in line with Flash, and I would say overall much more like Flash. We'll have a couple scenes that are definitely dramatic stuff that happens, but even the way it's shot is maybe a little bit darker, but it's warmer instead of dark tones, more warm. Just the scope is different. The cinematography is a little bit different. So even though there's levity and a lot of lightness, it's I don't even know the word to explain it. We'll see it, I guess, when we see it, because I haven't seen much. I just feel it. But it'll be a different levity than in Flash.
Speaking of
Time for one last question.
Speaking of the filmmaking, given where we left your character, Ray Palmer, now that you've accessed this new kind of power, how is it getting over the technical challenge of presenting those powers on TV in the context of now Marvel's released something like Ant-Man?
Yeah.
And how do you guys kind of get over the technical challenge of filming those powers?
Well, thankfully, I don't personally have to deal with that. Armin Katayan, our awesome visual effects guy, will do all that. I've seen some animatics of some cool stuff that we're really pushing the boundaries for TV. I think what we do on Arrow and Flash has been really impressing me, and so I think it's going to step it up even more. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more of Adam in his real element now that that's the focus of the show. We did that on Arrow a little bit. I mean, well, we didn't really. The trailer you saw, the promo shrink, and then that will be utilized definitely in Legends. So will just Adam exosuit, but definitely a lot more miniaturization, which is going to be fun.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.